Hey everyone, welcome back to Dev Parkour. Today's video is a little bit different because today is National Cat Day. Yeah, National Cat Day. October 29th every year is National Cat Day, and it's a day to celebrate cats and rescuing and adopting cats from shelters all over the U.S. At the very least. It is a national day. Though there's nothing stopping you if you're in another part of the world from adopting a cat. And in fact, I would highly recommend it. I have a cat. My wife and I have been talking about getting a cat for several years, and last year, a little over a year ago, we got a cat, and actually we got a kitten. He's since grown into a cat, and he's great. It's a really great. It's great to have any pet, though I might be biased, but I think cats are better than dogs or anything else. Cats are relatively low maintenance. Yes, they shed, but vacuum your house periodically, and that's not an issue. Clean the litter box, once a day, once every other day. Usually they're not too picky. Just don't leave it for too long, and remember to feed them. And that's about it. Yeah, there's regular care like teeth brushing and brushing their fur to help them shed, because indoor cats shed throughout the year, whereas outdoor cats will shed kind of in spring and in fall to get their summer and winter coats respectively, or I think flip those around. But as their coats change, they shed the other fur. But really, cats are fantastic animals. They obviously they're cuddly, they're fun to play with. But from a software engineering perspective, I think cats are great as well, because cats really lend themselves to the style of work that software engineering requires, right? If you think of a dog, for instance, and this is not to say that if you're a software engineer, you can't have a dog. I know plenty of software engineers who do have dogs, and that works for them. But for my opinion, I think a cat is a better fit for a software engineer, at least the way I like to work, because the cat is perfectly happy with me focusing on the computer for several hours, and then stopping to take a break and maybe feed them, play with them, that sort of thing, and then going back to focusing on code. Whereas I feel like a dog, and this could just be my in-laws dog. It's very high maintenance. It wants attention all the time, and I don't know how I'd be able to get any work done with a dog like that, just asking for attention all the time. Whereas a cat is perfectly content to entertain itself, occupy itself, sleep during the day, right? Cats are notorious for sleeping during the day, and then being active in the morning and the evening, which is typically when you're home, if you actually go into an office for work, or at least when you're not working, when you're actually in kind of a mindset to play with your pet. So I think cats are a great fit. Not to mention there are thousands of cats that are trapped and sometimes never adopted every year, which is really sad. Cats, we think of rabbits as reproducing like rabbits. Cats in the wild reproduce like rabbits as well. And if cats aren't spayed or neutered, they just continue to reproduce. Sometimes even before they're really ready to reproduce, and it's kind of sad because when cats reproduce, when female cats get pregnant at such a young age, when they're still kittens, there is some psychological trauma that goes on, and that's pretty sad to see. But by trapping them, by spaying and neutering them, and depending on what they do, if they are practiced mousers, then they might be working cats. They might go become a barn cat, and that's perfectly fine. Or if they're able to be domesticated, if they're fairly young, and you can get them to kind of come out of their shell and be more friendly, they are perfect adoption candidates. And and there are a lot of thousands of cats that are available across the country for adoption. So find an adoption shelter in your area, a cat sanctuary, cat shelter, that sort of thing. Sometimes the Humane Society has cats, so you can check in there as well. But in addition to that, if you happen to find a stray cat or kitten, there are some things that you can do to kind of help, not perpetuate this whole cycle of, infinite cats going all over the place. That are good for the cats, good for humans. You might be helping a family or a kid or an adult find companionship with their fur baby. So some things that you can do are, first, if you are able to approach the cat safely, see if there's a tag. It might already be someone's cat. It might look like a stray just because it's an outdoor cat, but it might actually already be someone's cat. If not, there are places that you can go that will check for a chip. Hopefully, cats that are owned as pets will have a microchip in them. That's something that they can't shed. A collar can break off. In fact, some collars are designed to break away in case they get caught on something. But the microchip is in them forever. And that's something that can be scanned for, and then they can determine, basically look the cat up in a database and find if there's an owner. If they don't have a microchip, then a vet or one of these shelters will be able to determine if the cat is neutered or spayed, and if not, they can take care of that, and then put the cat up for adoption. What you don't want to do is, it's totally cool if you want to find a cat, or if you find a cat that is definitely not someone else's pet, and adopt it as your own. But make sure that you go through this process. Make sure that you get the cat neutered or spayed. Make sure you get the cat all their shots, so that they don't spread diseases and they don't continue to reproduce unchecked, right? It is okay for cats to reproduce, right? We want some cats to reproduce, but at this point, right now, we're at the point where cats are reproducing far faster than cats are being adopted. So a lot of times, some of these rescues will find pregnant cats in the wild. They'll let the pregnancy go to term, a litter of kittens, cute kittens up for adoption, and then they'll spay the female, and then that will be that cat's only litter, or at least last litter. So that cat might even be ready for adoption, or might be ready to be a barn cat. Similarly with the males, but obviously the males, you don't have to wait for anything. You just make sure they're healthy, and then they can get neutered, and then either go be a barn cat or be a someone's pet, and that's perfectly fine. That is by far the most humane way to address the situation, and it's a great match for humans, great match for the cats, and I honestly, even though we've only had this cat for a little over a year, it's hard to imagine what life was like before we had a cat. Even though he scratches our furniture when he's not supposed to, even though he sometimes, can be kind of obnoxious, meowing at us in the middle of the night when we're trying to sleep, it is kind of endearing, and we definitely enjoy having him around. He's a great companion. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, even though it was a little bit different. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I promise most of the videos, basically all videos except for one a year, are about software engineering and software engineering things There's even some code. I show code on screen. If you want to see more code, definitely subscribe, click that notification bell. If you have a cat and really enjoy it, or any other thoughts on the content of this video, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear about all of your cat companions as well. I think that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.